Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Leadership Void podcast. I'm Enrique and Vince, my co-host. We are excited. This episode, we don't have a guest, but we have plenty to update you on. This is the mid-year update. We're so happy to have gotten to this point based on the journey that we took on. Now, we've done something similar to this in the past, but we want to get you all caught up. So, Vince, what do we have?
Yeah, again, we started out back in 2020, 2020, before the pandemic, just meeting at Starbucks, deciding what this is going to look like. And it evolved out of our necessity of the giving, understanding what leadership is. Wish we had this opportunity growing up in the military with the digital platform. So hence the marriage, hence Leadership Void. We showcase great military family professionals, whatever they're doing in their endeavors in the business and nonprofit or their own entrepreneurship. We also address the leadership voids, by providing advice, strategies, and continue ways to continue for you to sharpen your saw. So again, we're here, season 2, halfway through the year. It's been an amazing ride, amazing journey. And we're just so excited to continue this. But we want to pause for the cause and share what we got going on, where we've been and where we're going.
And who'd have thought 60 some odd episodes later, we're still going. Hey folks, there's plenty to talk about when it comes to leadership, right? And we try to cover a lot of bases. We have a lot of great guests from across the services. Now, if anybody does not know, the Leadership Void podcast does center on military veteran, military spouse. We do have some guests that are not in that arena, but are affiliated in some sort of way in support of or patriotic events or things of that nature. But we do center our efforts on the military community based on our logo. If nobody knows the little history, let me just give you real quick a recap of what the logo, the Leadership Void podcast logo is. Now, you'll notice that there are some gaps in there, and that's intentional, and that's the voids of leadership, right? But if you notice on the top, it goes in precedence as far as the services and their dates of inception. So Army's first, Marine Corps Lava is number 2. You got the Navy, you got Coast Guard, you got Air Force. And we're not forgetting about the Space Force, but we can't create another color. It's Air Force, right? So, and Space Force shares in that last column, but those little gaps in between are the voids that we aim to fill. So you can get a full collective picture, right? Those other areas that are filled with leaders that are actually executing their leadership at the top of their game. But that's a little background on our logo. It took us a little while to come to that, but thankfully, with the inspiration of the veteran community, military community, we were able to come up with that, and it's served us well to the point where, hey, we got our shirts with the logo on and everything. So, folks, the show is going very well. We are being received very well. I can't tell you how many countries we're broadcasting at, because there are, at least 20 countries that are listening to our guests and all the things that they bring from the leadership standpoint. Vince mentioned, right, we have a goal. Now, this is being aired on YouTube, our channel there. The audio is going to be on our podcast, but for those that are looking and viewing on YouTube, and if you're listening on the radio, hey, I suggest you go to the YouTube and watch the video as well. But we have an outstanding book from Scott McGregor. We have a goal. We're trying to get to 200, and you know what happens after that? We're going to get another goal. But for right now, the goal to 200 comes with a book. So if you are out there right? You're out there listening or viewing this book from Scott McGregor. He's up in New York, did a collaboration with military leaders, and a great book to read and get inspired from. But he personally signed this for the winner of the I want to say raffle. It's not a raffle, you're not paying for it, but of the selection of one of the subscribers between now and 200. So if you want to be, if first of all, if you want great leadership content from the military perspective, great content from those leaders that have served and now are serving the community in this, in different positions, then hey, get in and subscribe. But if you just want the book, we understand. Maybe the book is better, but subscribe and get in line for the book. It's as soon as we hit 200, we're gonna get all those names together, make our selection, and then we'll post something about it. Our last winner, DJ, she won a great book from Denise, one of our previous podcast guests. A great book. She's enjoying that, and then we even made a post about it. So check that out.
Yeah, so speaking of leadership, again, we're here going full circle now. We have opportunities to give some of one of the best practices of how to sharpen your swords, giving resources. So, from the Prairie to the Pentagon in season one, here it is now, season two. We're giving out salute, standing year O from Scott McGregor. So that's talking about the top couple tips that folks talked about, top advice or top things that resonated throughout leadership. We understood what folks say. Listening was very important.
Yep.
Active listening, that is. It's a two-way communication. Um, One, also be self-aware. Check yourself, check your ego, check your pride, check your emotions. Check yourself, because you don't want to showcase that as a leader. Yes, you're gonna have those moments, but also deal with it differently. But self-care is important to that. We talked about these resources of sharpening your sword. Folks, all folks have mentioned about gravitating to either uh, sharpening the skills that they have, or learning different skills to get me more well-rounded, more holistic, by either reading podcasts like the Leadership Void, or other different entities to learn how to be better, well-rounded as a leader. So those are some of the great tips that were given throughout our season one and resonate through season two. Wanted to share. And Enrique mentioned also the our logo. We talk about the armed forces, all the branches of the military. So we actually do have specials editions, which next week we start off and kick it off with the Army's birthday. Now, yeah, 246th
Oh,
birthday.
Army, whoa.
You Yeah, so every branch will have a designated special edition. Next week we have a great guest. Stay tuned. We don't want to give too much out, but he is doing some great things out there in our media, in our world. So you will not be disappointed to hear from him. Um, but also we're going to add, as Enrique mentioned, the Space Force birthday in December. So we'll have that edition as well this year. But in addition to all the birthdays, we do one great Veterans Day panel. And last year in episode season one, we had all branches of the military, female, of senior enlisted women doing great things. All five branches were represented, and we had a dynamic conversation with them in a panel format. This year, season two, we have something even better for you. So November will be there for that great edition for Veterans Day, as we salute all of our branches as well. So just some great things that we have done, some great things that we're coming to do, and we just want you to be aware of what we got going on.
Yeah, I'm very excited over those special episodes that we bring. We put a lot of emphasis on bringing the very best that the military has to offer. Our last Veterans Day special was, that was just, it was special. You know, to have that the level of caliber of our female service women that are out there doing great things uh, in some adverse conditions, and we were just happy to have them. So
Right.
stay tuned for that. Uh, this next one is not going to disappoint as well. So we we've come a long way since we started. A lot of people have mentioned, have commented, have shared, and we ask you to continue to do that. So if you this is the first time you've seen this video on YouTube, we ask you to subscribe, hit the notification bell so you get the notification when our new episode comes out. But we did this like clockwork, so you would be ready every Wednesday, 0600 or 6 in the morning. Uh, a new episode is released. So if you can just remember that, maybe you don't need the bell. But what we're saying is, hey, subscribe, get active, make some comments if you have any. Share the video as well, which allows us to continue to get exposure and grow. But we thank all those that have been so faithfully committed to supporting us from day one. We have other books coming now. We mentioned, Ali still has a one that he's sending our way, and so we're going to make sure to provide that as well. A great leader here in Central Florida, Marine Corps veteran, doing great things in the financial sector, and we're just so excited. There's a lot going on here in Central Florida. But if you've noticed, we've gone on a national tour. Going abroad is our next thing, the international scene, right? Because we know that our footprint, our American, military service footprint goes beyond our national borders, and so we would like to go in that direction. If not in the tail end of this year, definitely in next year, we'll definitely have some international flavor, at least in the sense of location. But we have great leaders on our national tour. We're going to Texas not too long from now. We've been at the Lone Star State for a little bit, a couple of our. But guess what? Texas is a big veteran supporting state, so I wouldn't be surprised a lot of them come from the Lone Star. But there are other states that the veterans have called home, and we're traveling, although be it virtually, to these places to get you the best the veterans in our community now, right? We're limited sometimes on the active side because of the active component piece of their service, but anybody that is retired or separated and out there doing great things, we're going to try to bring them to you.
Yeah, absolutely. As Enrique mentioned, we are on our nationwide tour, and you can help us a little bit here because I know we still need South, North Dakota, the Dakotas. We need the 49 and 50th. We need Hawaii. We need Alaska, and a few others. But if you know any veterans or any military spouse doing some wonderful things, or patriots supporting the military in any of those states or any state for that matter, just send them our way. They could reach us at theleadershipvoid@gmail.com. Just let us know how we can support them and share what they got going on in our space, because we want to share what they're doing, and plus let folks know what great things are out there as a resource or as an opportunity, and then learn from them what they're doing in their leadership. So theleadershipvoid@gmail.com. Send us your ideas. Uh, Let us know if you have any thoughts of what we should do. We had some thoughts of folks talking about going live and doing some
Hmm.
live, real live broadcast. So we listen, and we're doing that. In fact, we have some things lined up for some live shows coming up at the end of this year, maybe in the fall, winter time frame. So stay tuned for some live shows, and we're gonna be cooking up something. So that's a little, a little great little teaser for you. But so no, definitely, if you know of any leaders out there, again, veterans, military spouses, or patriots in any of the 50 states, or even abroad, we would love for them to be on our show and share their great wisdom and what they're doing in the community. So thank you for that, for those listening in, and those who have joined us and make us this far, going on soon, episode 64 to 65. So
Yep.
we'll be reaching 100 very soon, and that'll be another celebratory. But talk about celebration, talk about reaching goals. Enrique mentioned reaching 200. Our 200 goal is where we want to reach on YouTube by hitting the subscribe. All you're going to do is you see some wonderful 60 plus episodes, and you'll be in the drawing for this book, Standing O Salute Edition. So Scott McGregor is a great gentleman doing some great things. If you want to know some more of other veterans too, we can also hopefully link you up. So stay tuned for that. And there's some great
And,
other things going on. Like I think we're going to talk about Radio Check. We're going to talk about our first live radio check as well. So that's coming.
yeah, talking about Radio Check. If you did not catch our live, it was like a 3 for 1, really. Uh, it was our first live radio check in a group of veterans, which was great, at an event to support veterans. And Vince got a dog out of that that event, right? So look, these things that we're bringing to you, they have a purpose, right? They have a reason. But the main reason is to bring you veterans that are doing great things. And Radio Check, if you don't know the background about Radio Check, there's a lot of suffering out there that's being had by them, by yourself, and nobody should be suffering in silence. Although we know and understand that a lot of people suffer in silence, so we try to create an environment where you could just come on LinkedIn, get on there when we come on live. Uh, the first and the 15th of every month at 7 p.m., 1900 for you military minded folks, uh, to open the airways for you to be able to reach out to us. Let us know your current status. Let us know if you need help. Now we always say on the show, we may not have the answer right then and there, but if you reach out and we can get that information, we could definitely get you something to help you out in that current need. It's important to look out for your fellow man, your fellow woman. And in our upbringing in the military, there's point and there's six, right? And that person in the point is always looking forward, but who has your back, right? The sixth position got your back. And so what we're saying with that is there on the 1st and the 15th, we got your back. All you need to do is reach out. And we're making ourselves available live. Our last show was live in a different setting, not in a studio setting, but that's what it's for. And we just encourage everybody to use it. Hey, this last time we had Radio Check, people were just coming in, and Vince said, "Hey, this is like a family reunion here." Right? People were coming in, "Hey, this and that." But that's what it was. That's what it's made for as well. You want to reach out and just feel connected. Do it through Radio Check, 1st and 15th, 1900, 7 p.m. Eastern time. We love your company.
Yeah, and let me add to that. So again, this is unscripted on the first and the 15th. This is just us, as he said, we open up the airways, but we open up our hearts for you, and for you to know that the invisible wounds of war is real. And like this is, PTSD Awareness Month in June, and last month was Mental Health Awareness Month. But we know it's the struggle is real, and we just wanted to give a platform to talk and share, do a buddy check. That's what really the buddy check is, radio check. How you doing? What's going on? Let's just smile for a second. Whatever's on your mind, let's just chat. So it was very important for us to do this. And as Enrique mentioned, the 3 for 1 was the fact that we were live at a opportunity to get service dogs on May 15th with Ali Nass, who's the founder and CEO of Command Canine. And we were there. I got a dog that day. His name is Dante, who was sleeping between my legs right now. Earlier, who was active. But no, seriousness, it's a great. It is hard to deal with our own demons, and the dog helped me, and it's helping me. So because it's detracting and distracting me a lot. But yeah, so here we are, went live on the May 15th. We have a lot of different opportunities to go live again. We're looking at folks at different businesses like Mission Barbecue, that is a veteran first responder centric. And we do like to eat, and come along over
Oh,
here.
I like to eat.
So stay tuned for some great things with Radio Check. First and the 15th, as Enrique mentioned, LinkedIn Live, 1917, the 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So unscripted, open up the airways, open up your heart, open your mind, and let's just be real.
All right, folks. So I believe that's the bulk of all of our updates. We're heading, 60 plus episodes. That's not an easy thing for those of you out there podcasting. It's not an easy thing. 100 is at the light at the end of the tunnel. There, we're getting there. Uh, but numbers or not, right? The purpose of the show, the podcast, will remain, past 100. This is what we love to do, and not just bring you great leadership content, but bring you great people that are doing this day to day, and an opportunity for you to ask some questions. We started all this on a survey. This was a survey, and we saw the need was there, and we wanted to fill that void. Hence the leadership void, right? So, um, if you have questions, send them our way. Send them to our email. We'll look at those questions. If you have people that as Vince had mentioned earlier, that should be on our show, hey, send them our way. We're always looking, but we can't see everything. So if you know of a veteran, military spouse, active duty, that are doing great things out there, send them our way. One of the ways that we get to continue to do this is through sponsorship. So Navy Paddles, we're gonna have that link in the comments there. They've partnered with us to promote and continue to lift us up. So we want to give a shout out to Navy Paddles. We'll provide that link in the show notes. They're a great organization doing great things, and so we ask you to support them as well. But if you're out there and you want to support a veteran owned podcast, a veteran monitored podcast, uh, hey, we love to hear from you, in what ways we can collaborate and continue to grow, not only the podcast but the content and the guests. So yeah, and that's all we have, I believe, Vince. Unless you have something to close us by. Hey, Vince is I told him he's the quote man, right? He brings these quotes, and every time he gives us a reason to think and say, oh man, that's pretty good. So I'll let Vince close us out. But folks, thank you so much for your support. This journey is great, but it's made even greater by the support that we get. If you're out there, you're a subscriber. Thank you so much. If you have not subscribed, please do so today. We greatly appreciate it.
No, yeah, and I just wanted to pause for a second and thank you, Enrique, because this would not have happened without your support and your time and your effort. So it's a dynamic duo. It worked
Yep.
out. It's like a really interesting pairing, but we rolling it as we go, and it's working magically, perfectly, marvelously. I can't even speak, but no, so I'm just grateful for you and for what you're doing to make it easier for us to make this successful. So thank you for that. Um,
Oh, thank you, bro.
and the quotes Enrique mentioned, I do a quote kind of like on the radio check, but I'll give one of those past ones on here. And I'll share this one is change is inevitable, but growth is optional. Think of what, because change is going to happen, folks. The growth is on
Right.
you. Your choice to make that change is your choice to grow out of it or grow into it. See what is worthwhile to continue forward in this new normal, because the normal, we returning to normal, which was another quote, and in the new normal, what do you want to continue with is an understanding. So take all that in. Um, Understand we're here twice a month on Radio Check, but we're here every Wednesday giving some great leadership, dynamic folks and leadership uh, tips and advice. So again, from Enrique and from Vince, we thank you for joining in. Mid-year review. We'll see you again next week, but we'll continue forward and hopefully season 100, we'll talk some better things than what we got going on in the future then. So have a great day, great afternoon. Have a rest of half a year.